In recent months, the name Sean Combs, better known as Diddy, has been in the news again, but not for his musical successes or his impact on pop culture, but for the dark accusations surrounding him. What started as rumors has escalated into a full-blown scandal, with artists, celebrities, and important figures in the industry coming forward to reveal their own experiences with Diddy. From abuses of power to controversial parties, Diddy's story is much darker than many could have imagined. Today on The Secret Case, we take you on a deep journey into Diddy's life, exploring the crimes that have been attributed to him, the artists who were harmed, and the secrets that may still be hidden. We'll also look at how Diddy is now facing one of the most critical moments of his life. He's in pre-trial detention, awaiting trial on multiple charges related to recent allegations of abuse and assault. If you are passionate about the most controversial cases in the world of music and entertainment, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any details. Before we dive into the recent controversies, it's essential to understand how Diddy came to be one of the most powerful and feared figures in the music industry. Sean Combs began his career at Uptown Records in the early 90s, where he quickly stood out as an ambitious and visionary young man. Shortly after, he founded Bad Boy Records, the label that would define the sound of a generation. Bad Boy Records was responsible for launching the careers of artists like the Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and Maze. Within a matter of years, Diddy had established himself as a music mogul, known as much for his commercial successes as for his opulent lifestyle. But as success surrounded him, signs also began to appear that not everything was as it seemed. Over time, it became clear that Diddy's success in the industry was not only due to his talent as a producer, but also to his ability to manipulate the people around him. This control led him to manage the careers of his artists in a very questionable way, which would affect many over the years. One of the most tragic and dark events of Diddy's career was the murder of the Notorious B.I.G. in 1997. Biggie, who was the main artist for Bad Boy Records, was shot to death in Los Angeles, in a crime that to this day remains unsolved. This murder was framed in the violent war of the coasts between the east and west coasts of hip-hop, which many believe was fueled by the rivalry between Diddy and Suge Knight, the owner of Death Row Records. Although Diddy has never been formally charged in connection with Biggie's murder, there have always been theories that indirectly link him to the escalating tensions between the two coasts. Some critics argue that Diddy could have done more to de-escalate the violence between the two rival labels, and that his lust for power in the industry contributed to the tragic outcome. In recent years, the allegations against Diddy have taken an even darker turn. In addition to lawsuits for abuse of power, testimonies have emerged that speak of controversial parties organized by Diddy in which highly questionable acts were committed. Celebrities such as Justin Bieber and Jaden Smith have been mentioned in these scandals, and some rumors point to them being victims of abuse or manipulation in these private gatherings. Justin Bieber, for example, has hinted on several occasions that his mental health issues could be related to his environment in the industry during his youth, a period in which he was very close to Diddy. The parties at Diddy's mansion were known for being exclusive, but also for having a dark side that is rarely talked about in public. According to some sources, young artists were exposed to situations of abuse, both emotional and physical, which have left deep marks on their lives. One of the most shocking cases is that of Jaden Smith, the son of famous actor Will Smith. Jaden attended several of these parties when he was still very young, and there are those who claim that what he witnessed at these events affected his mental health. The trauma of what happened at these parties is still a sensitive topic, but what is clear is that many of the young people who surrounded Diddy during those years did not come out emotionally unscathed. Diddy's behavior not only affected young artists, but also those who relied on him to propel their careers. Over the years, many artists signed to Bad Boy Records have come forward to say that Diddy manipulated their contracts and withheld royalties, leaving them without the income they rightfully deserved. Maze, for example, has been one of Diddy's most vocal critics, claiming that for years he was unable to release his music or profit from his own work due to the conditions imposed by his contract with Bad Boy. Faith Evans and the Lox have also denounced how Diddy handled their contracts in an unfair manner, always prioritizing his own interests. What's more surprising is that even those artists who seem to have a close relationship with Diddy, such as Usher, have hinted that the environment Diddy cultivated was toxic and damaging. Usher, in particular, has mentioned that Diddy introduced him to the wild side of the industry when he was just a teenager. Diddy's parties are almost as legendary as his music career. But what few people know is that these parties were not only famous for their exclusivity, but also for what went on behind the scenes. Since the 1990s, Diddy would host events at his mansion that were attended by celebrities, models and influential figures from the entertainment industry. What began as a simple luxury party quickly degenerated into an environment where substance abuse and inappropriate behavior became the norm. Witnesses have claimed that at these parties, young and vulnerable industry figures were pushed into compromising acts or caught in emotionally or even physically abusive situations. The parties were not just places of celebration, they also became centers of manipulation, where Diddy consolidated his control over those who depended on him to advance their careers. Drug use, excessive alcohol and a lack of boundaries seemed to be an integral part of these events. And although many of the people attending were adults, the pressure placed on the youngest and most vulnerable at these gatherings has left scars that, years later, are beginning to come to light. Despite the revelations that have emerged in recent years, there is much more that has yet to be revealed about Diddy's life and crimes. Theories about his ties to organized crime and his use of influence to protect himself from legal consequences remain a recurring theme in the entertainment industry. Some of those close to Diddy have hinted that there are networks of power that have allowed his abuses to go unnoticed for so long. The aforementioned parties, threats and intimidation that Diddy has used against those who have tried to speak out against him, are just the tip of the iceberg. The culture of silence has been key to these events remaining unnoticed until now. How many more have been victims of Diddy but still don't dare to speak out? Diddy is currently facing one of the most critical moments of his life. Following multiple accusations and mounting public pressure, Diddy is currently in pre-trial detention, awaiting trial on serious charges including abuse and assault. What began as rumors in the industry has led to formal investigations, and victims of his alleged crimes are demanding justice. The next few months will be decisive in determining whether Diddy will be convicted for his actions or whether his power and influence are still enough to shield him from consequences. What is clear is that the entertainment industry is beginning to re-examine its history with figures like Diddy, and the impact of this case could forever change the way stars with such power are handled. Diddy's story is a cautionary tale about how power and fame can corrupt even the most influential figures. As more revelations continue to come to light, it's crucial to continue speaking out about these issues and supporting victims who are finally finding the courage to speak out. If you want to stay up to date with everything that happens in this case and many more, don't forget to subscribe to The Secret Case. What do you think about all that has been revealed about Diddy? Do you think there is still much more to discover? Leave us your comments below, we want to know what you think.